Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. In the previous class, we talked about how Sri Lanka practiced majoritarianism, and due to that, what feeling the Sri Lankan Tamils had, and what rights were denied for Sri Lankan Tamils, and how they felt alienated in their country, and why there was a distrust between Sinhala community and Sri Lankan Tamils, and how it led to civil war. Up to that we have seen. Let's continue with the other topics. Now in this session, we will be able to know how the power was shared in Belgium, and a comparison between Belgium and Sri Lanka, how the power was shared, and what are the advantages of power sharing, what are the two sets of reasons for power sharing. That is what we are going to see. Let's move on. Accommodation in Belgium. Now we saw in Sri Lanka, the Buddhist Sinhala leaders, political leaders, supported for the majoritarian measures to be taken. But in Belgium, it's going to be different. Already we have talked about the Belgian composition. Dutch-speaking people 59%, French-speaking people 40%. But in the capital, Brussels, it's topsy-turvy. 80% French and 20% Dutch. Apart from this, 1% German people are also there. So let's see that what accommodation, how the power sharing was accommodated in Belgium. So the Belgian leaders took a different path. They recognized the existence of regional differences and cultural diversities. So between 1970 and 1993, they amended their constitution 4 times so as to work out an arrangement that would enable everyone to live together within the same country. The arrangement they worked out is different from any other country and is very, very innovative. Now, you should understand that amending the constitution was not that easy. It's not that easy. But they have amended their constitution. It's not once or twice, 4 times they have amended. Why did the Belgian leaders do that? They wanted the country to be a peaceful country, happy place to live. That's what their intention. So they amended. Every time they amended, whatever difficulties they had in the previous time, they overcome. In the second amendment, in the third amendment, in the fourth amendment. So when they amended every time, the country was more prosperous and more peaceful. And so this arrangement, power sharing arrangement, made the people of Belgium to live in the same country peacefully. We saw in Sri Lankan case, it was not so. Minority people were not happy. They were forced to leave the country, okay? So elements of Belgian model. So when we talk about the accommodation, how they accommodated, we saw in the previous slide. In this slide, we are looking at the features of Belgian model. What steps the Belgian leaders have taken. The first step was equal representation to both Dutch and French in the central government. So we can understand that Dutch and French they shared power equally. Dutch was majority, French was minority, but still equal share in the parliament, in the central government. So some special laws require the support of majority of members from each linguistic group. From French group, French-speaking people, from Dutch-speaking people. They wanted some members to support for any policy, any bill passed, and if it has to become a law, majority members from each linguistic group have to support, otherwise it will not become a law. So no single community can take decisions unilaterally. That means either French or Dutch cannot take decisions individually. The next one, many powers of the central government have been given to state governments of the two regions of the country. The state governments are not subordinate to the central government. So, central government have given some powers to state government of two regions. One is Wallonia, another one is Flemish. For both the regions, they are given some powers. State governments are not subordinate to the central government. That we have to understand. So state government has some powers, central government has some powers. So when they have accepted, when the Dutch people being majority, they accepted to share power with French people, equal representation in the central government. That was a wonderful decision taken by the Belgian leaders. That made the French people also to accept in the Brussels, that is in the capital, to give equal representation. Okay, so this is the best feature in Belgian model. So when we go to the next point, Brussels has a separate government in which both the communities have equal representation. So in the capital, we can see that French 80%, but in spite of that, they accepted equal representation in Brussels because Dutch-speaking community accepted equal representation in the central government. That is why French people also accepted equal representation in Brussels. The next one is, apart from central government and state government, there is a third kind of government known as community government, which is very, very important. So community government. So we can see that French is a community, Dutch is a community, German is a community. So every community will have their own language, their own culture, their own traditions, all these things. To protect that, a government was made that is known as community government. So it is selected by people belonging to one language community, Dutch, French, and German speaking, no matter they live. They may be in any part of Belgium, but this government has the power regarding cultural, educational, and language related issues. So the cultural, educational, and language related issues were taken care by the respective linguistic group. Okay, so this is also one of the best feature because it is taking care of the culture or the language of that particular community. So first one, equal representation, and second one, this community government, that is also the best feature. So we have to understand that it's very, very important to know that if you are going to give some power to the minority, they also will treat us equal. Okay, they feel happy and they will do in return. Okay, they will also take care of our country. So Belgian model, the model is very, very complicated, even for the people living in Belgium. But the arrangements have worked so far. Very well it has worked. Okay. So this helped to avoid civic strife, civil war. There is no conflict among the communities, various communities. Whereas in Sri Lanka, we saw that civil war has happened because there was a distrust. Okay, civic war, civic strife. Civic strife between the two major communities and a possible division of the two major communities on linguistic lines. Okay, that was avoided. Civic strife was avoided and division of the country was avoided. So we have to accept that it is one of the important features of Belgian model. When many countries of Europe came together to form the European Union, Brussels was chosen as its headquarters. So what pride the country needs for the whole European nation, whole European Union, Brussels was chosen as its headquarters. Such a pride for the country Belgium, isn't it? Okay, because they have sorted out the communal divisions, they have sorted out the ethnic divisions peacefully, meticulously, so that all the people in that country will feel happy. So let's have a comparison between Sri Lanka and Belgium here. Accommodation policy was practiced in Belgium, but in Sri Lanka, it was majoritarian policy. That is why they landed in trouble. Accommodation policy led to peace. Majoritarian policy led to conflict. In accommodation policy, it made all the linguistic communities to live together. But in Sri Lanka, the majoritarian policy led to demand for a separate state by a linguistic group. That is, the Sri Lankan Tamils wanted a separate state, regional autonomy in the country, okay, which was not possible for any country. In Belgium, political stability was there because they accommodated properly, but in Sri Lanka, political instability. And in Belgium, relationship got strengthened as all the communities accommodated diversities. But in Sri Lanka, majority community was given preference, so minority community was disregarded. But in Belgium, Brussels, the capital of Belgium, became the headquarters for European Union. In Sri Lanka, distrust between the two communities turned into civil war. Success story of power sharing. Because of the accommodation policy, power was not shared. Because of that, Sri Lanka had a lot of troubles. So it's a comparison which will throw light about how the power has to be shared in a democratic country. If you're going to share the power equally according to the constitution without disregarding the minority people, the country is going to be wonderful. Okay. So both the stories gives us a very clear picture about how the power has to be shared. If we share properly, it's good. It will give better outcomes. If you are going to share on majoritarian policy, then we will have trouble. That's what we have seen in this two stories. So next we are going to see two sets of reasons of power sharing. One is prudential, next one is moral reason. First one is based on profit or loss, prudence. If I do this, I'm going to get good. That is what prudential reason. Based on morality, that is what moral reason. It stresses that power sharing will give better outcomes. Prudential reasons tell us that power sharing will fetch good results. And the moral reason says that it is ideal, so we have to follow that. And in prudential reason, there is some logic, but in moral reason, it doesn't have any logic, but it has ideal. It is ideal. So prudential reasons are contrasted with decisions purely based on moral considerations. And moral reasons emphasize the act of power sharing. It is emphasizing through the constitution, it is stressing. Now, prudential reason, example is reservation policy. We have reservation policy in our country. So for many years, the less privileged people did not get the benefit of education and job opportunities. So the constitution makers have thought that if we have some reservation policy for them, it would be good so that they will also be on par with other people. So they have brought reservation policy. So there is a logic behind this reservation policy. If we bring this, the people will be at par with other people. That is the logic. Okay. So if we do this, we are going to get this result. This betterment, this better outcome will be there. That is what. Now, in the case of moral decentralization, we are going to talk about decentralization in the next lesson. Decentralization, giving power to the local government. That is what decentralization. Through the constitution, it is being made. Okay, the power is being given to the local government. Now let us check into the reasons for power sharing. Prudential reasons. It reduces conflict between the two social groups. It ensures political stability. Unity prevails in a country. Reduces the feeling of hatred, conflicts among social groups. Dissatisfaction, and it promotes harmony. Tyranny of the majority is not just oppressive for the minority, but brings ruin to the majority. That means in Sri Lanka, majority people wanted to dominate the minority. It did not bring problem for the minority alone. It also brought problem for majority. So when we check the first point, it reduces conflict between social groups. You should understand that the prudential reason says that it reduces conflict. Every country will have conflict, but the conflict will be reduced through the prudential reasons. That's what it says. Political stability will be there because conflicts are less, so political stability. Unity will be there. So it reduces the feeling of hatred and conflicts among social groups, dissatisfaction because we are having prudential reasons. We are following prudential reasons for power sharing, and it promotes harmony. Okay, brotherhood it promotes. So tyranny. So I told you already about this. It will bring out better outcomes. The prudential reasons will give better results. Moral reasons. That's the very spirit of democracy. That's the crux of democracy. Participation of people should be there for legitimate government. Participation of people should be there. That's see what is democracy? People. People should feel to participate in the government, okay, by giving their opinion or whatever it is. People have a right to be consulted on how they are to be governed. Participation of people is very, very important because it is by the people, for the people, of the people, democracy. Okay. So it is the very act of power sharing. It promotes the value of power sharing. Okay. So we understand that the two sets of reasons is emphasizing the need for power sharing, the demand for power sharing, and one is talking about on the basis of prudence, another one is talking about on the basis of moral. Let us check this picture. So it's talking about the power sharing. So what is something different in this picture? Just observe for a second. Immediately you can identify. Yes, it is the two steerings that you can see here. It is the two steerings that you can see in this car. Generally, cars will have only one steering, but here this car has two steerings, which is very, very unusual, and it cannot happen. Okay, so you can see that the two steerings in the car. What does this picture represent? Underneath you can see German government and fine German engineering. So what it is talking about? Let us check. The cartoon at the left refers to the problems of running the Germany's grand coalition government that includes the two major parties of the country, namely the Christian Democratic Union and the Social Democratic Party. The two parties are historically rivals to each other. They had to form a coalition government because neither of them got clear majority of seats on their own in the 2005 elections. They take divergent positions on several policy matters, but still jointly run the government, which is very, very unusual. It cannot happen, but it has happened in Germany. Two-party system in Germany. One is Christian Democratic Union. The next one is Social Democratic Party. Rivals. Both of them are like North Pole and South Pole. Both of them didn't get majority in the 2005 elections. Conducting elections again is a costly affair for any country. So they have decided to form a coalition government, two-party system. Both the parties have decided to have a coalition government. That is what the picture represents here, two steerings. You know, a car can have only one steering. With the steering only, it turns left or right. But if it has two steerings, both the people use the steering, it won't run at all. But no car will have like this, but it's a picture representation. They accepted, they struck a card at some point and they run the government. Okay, both of them are rival parties. The Christian Democratic Union may not accept Social Democratic Party, so vice versa. But somehow they came and accepted somewhere at one point. They struck a card and accepted on any issue, any policy, and they run the government. Can you imagine in our country, BJP and Congress forming a coalition government and running a government? Similar to that. Or a DMK or ADMK government in Tamil Nadu? Similar to that. So it happened in Germany. Power is being shared by them. Okay. So through this slides, we understood that power sharing and how the power sharing helped to be a wonderful country in Belgium, and power sharing was not all right in Sri Lanka, and how Belgium became the model for the whole European Union. All these things we saw. I have given you an assignment at the end of this topic. We'll continue in the next session about the various forms of power sharing. Thank you.